Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me directly, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discovering a discontinued reference built between 2015 and 2020. This is the Rolex Oyster Perpetual 39 reference 114300. What was, at the time, the largest Oyster Perpetual now feels like a wonderful mid-size option for a broad range of wrists. So this timepiece is 39 millimeters in diameter. It measures 11.2 millimeters in thickness from lug tip to lug tip, 47.4 millimeters in end length to end length. The total distance across the wrist is 49.2 with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, 16 centimeters in circumference. You can see it wears well. The timepiece probably wears well on a wrist as small as 13.5 centimeters circumference, and it is flat enough with a domed bezel to easily slide underneath a dress cuff. An excellent all-around option for just about anyone. Now we take a look at the bracelet. Case, bracelet, and clasp, all made in Rolex's 904L steel, so described by Rolex as resistant to seawater such that it doesn't need to be rinsed after seawater exposure. Regular 316 steel would need an extra rinse. Satinated tops, polished faces. As you can see, removable links fixed by screws. The clasp is all of high polish internally with a lift lock system. There's a beak and then there's a hook, and the two latch together, so it's not a simple friction fit. You do have to unlatch to open it. An embossed Rolex crown. As you can see, everything is satin all the way across, but polished on the flank internally. No easy links. This is the entry-level Oyster Perpetual, and you can see that there are actually a couple of divots drilled in the clasp, so you can use your strap tool to re-anchor the bracelet inside of the clasp. So that's another tool you have for sizing. Lovely tapered lug profile, satinated on the tops, polished on the flanks, something you don't see on too many Rolex watches these days, but it makes for a nice handsome contrast. A lovely curved, compound curved case flank, and the domed bezel blends right in. This watch, the closest living descendant of the original Rolex Oyster Perpetual of 1933. That watch combined the Oyster water-resistant case with the Perpetual rotor winding system to give birth to the first modern format Rolex and the first modern format sports watch. The first ones described as bubble backs because they had a larger case back to accommodate the rotor. And they almost always included some sort of domed bezel. So here we have a domed bezel rather than the conical bezels generally used on Rolex steel watches. Screw-down crown, twin lock, 100 meters, water resistant. The dial, sunburst pattern with a metallic radial grain, and then this is what Rolex calls dark rhodium. You've seen silvered light rhodium on movements. Well, this is dark rhodium. It's a little bit more of an anthracite color, a little bit more like ruthenium. We have white gold hands, white gold indices, white gold crown, and then little cyan accents outboard of each one of the hours. The timepiece includes Rolex caliber 3132 inside 31 jewels, bidirectional automatic winding, 48-hour power reserve, hacking or stop seconds, blue oxidized niobium zirconium anti-magnetic hairspring with an overcoil profile shaped by hand so the watch keeps good time in every position, a full balance bridge and a free sprung index for shock tolerance, and it beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It is certified as a chronometer, but Rolex then takes that COSC certified movement, cases it up, tests it in 6 positions, and then will attest to its accuracy of no worse than -2 + 2 seconds per 24 hours at the time the fully cased up watch leaves the factory. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.